What's up, y'all? Let's have a couple laughs today, huh? I want to look at a couple DSP clips. Some are old, some are from last night. I want to bring up a couple of my favorites from recently, add some commentary, some things I want to talk about from last night's stream. So I want to start off today with some top tier rated content that DSP did. This is Brian, for people who don't know. DSP connected with him or reconnected with him before he started doing Kino Casino content and branching out and working with other people. So it was kind of weird seeing Phil doing content with somebody else for this time. Let's just get into it.
Anyway, I got a very important question, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jade in your chat right now?
No, he hasn't been here all day.
He hasn't been there all day.
Nope. I actually wanted for Jade's birthday's tomorrow, and I was gonna allow him to pick all my outfits and everything tonight, but sadly he hasn't been here all day.
Well, technically it's today. It's 12 a.m. Eastern, so it's officially his birthday.
There you go.
Listen, Phil, we gotta sing him happy birthday.
I would sing happy birthday, but he's not here.
I guess Jade plays Street Fighter, but for his birthday, DSP was going to let him pick his outfits. Fast forward to today, and DSP would be charging people money to pick his outfits. So this was a big deal for DSP. He was going to let him do it for free.
He can watch the VOD. Let's fucking do it.
Also, I don't care.
All right, let's go. Let's start it.
All right. Go ahead. 3, 2.
So Phil is so awkward, he won't even just be like, happy birthday. He's got to make sure that top tier rated does it alongside him because he doesn't want to look foolish. I don't really know, but it's just such an awkward interaction.
One. Happy birthday. Oh, this is terrible. That was not synced at all.
No, well, it's not going to be. It's going to be slightly off. All right.
This is a common cope for somebody who's feeling so awkward.
So listen, you start it, and I'll kick it with an ad after.
Okay. All right, everyone ready? Everyone in chat sing too. Everyone in chat sing. Ready? I wish Jade was here to hear it. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jade. Happy birthday to you. And I wish you were here so I could pick colors for you.
I mean, I'll give him credit. He did sing it, but he had to make it weird and awkward. Like the first time he started saying happy birthday, it was a normal happy birthday. Then he had to do this like song and dance to play it off. But you can imagine here, Brian starts realizing that DSP seems to have a disconnect from his actual fans, and he's not a very personable guy. When you only have 300 viewers on a stream, you get to know people a lot, and it's a lot more personable than somebody who's got 30,000 people and your chat is scrolling and scrolling. He's just distanced himself from the people that pay his bills so much that this became an awkward thing rather than just a quick happy birthday. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Jay. We wish we could have got you in here. I wanted to get you in the lobby. Phil wanted to get you in the lobby.
Yeah,
just so you could play some matches, random selects or whatever.
Brian seems like a cool guy. You know, hey, I want to include Jade. Jade's a longtime loyal fan of yours. And he contradicts Phil right here. He said, I wanted to get you in a lobby. Phil wanted to get you in a lobby. And Phil's like, yeah, huh. But 30 seconds earlier, DSP was like, Jade, you could pick my outfits tomorrow. It's a little different than playing with him. I mean, clearly you can see that DSP had no intention to have Jade in the lobby until Brian brought it up.
We would have had a lot of fun. But to all of us, to everybody, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
I'll tell him tomorrow. He might be here tomorrow. I'll tell him to watch the video.
Okay. Much love. All right, let's get these.
It's weird that Brian cares more about DSP's fans than DSP cares about his own fans. So this is the same night. A little further in, DSP's playing. And the weird thing about this is they're in a lobby. And the thing about this is they're in a lobby and DSP is playing against Brian and a bunch of Brian's friends. So during the matches, DSP mutes his mic with the Discord call with Brian and his friends to talk to his chat while he's playing, or basically just complain a lot and not have it come through to Brian and his friends. So during this match, DSP's playing and Brian's friend is winning, whatever. And you know how DSP is when he plays Street Fighter. He comes up with every excuse he can. Let's see what happens.
Why? It's a pattern. I can't. What do you want me to do? It's just guessing.
So he's playing against this dude Schmenk, and there's the first time he calls it out, I believe. He says pattern. He's calling him a pattern player. The guy's using a pattern to beat DSP.
I can't do anything. It's all. It was 100% mix-up pattern guess in the corner. I guessed wrong 7 times in a row.
So here he is trying to play it off because he knows he's not playing some schlub. I like using that word now. On the internet.
Action speed louder than words, so stop talk. I want change.
It didn't hit. After the perfect parry, I didn't get a hit. It didn't give it to me.
Wait, what? What do you mean? What's going on?
Wow. That's it. I have no meter. I can't get out. I would have had to mash level 1 to get out of that, so that's game. I'm gonna have no health at all here. Done. Guessing game. Can't do anything. Stuck in the corner guessing game. So I would have had to either just guess and mash throw, or mash like level 1 super. It's all I can do there. So yeah, it beat me. Keep in mind, I fought almost no juries. Like almost no juries at all.
Essentially, he's saying this guy beat him because he couldn't get the right guesses to this guy's pattern playing.
Since I played with Bison, because everyone fucking plays Cammy. So that's good. Like that's what I need to get used to. I need to get used to the corner mix up with jury because I haven't fought a good jury in a million years. But there are like none, right? When I play in rank, there's no juries at all. Oh, Brian, I didn't even realize the mic was muted. Should I
what was going on?
Yeah, I had it muted for the whole time by accident. I was like, oh shit. No, I was saying your friend there, he kicked my ass because there's no one in Master using jury anymore. Like everyone has either gone to Cammy, Ken, or Akuma. So I get no practice against jury. So every time jury gets me in the corner, I just get mixed up 100%. Like I do every wrong thing. I get thrown, drive, everything in a row. And there's nothing I can do until I play more jury. So I'm actually glad.
He's a very, very good jury. If you want to learn how to fight jury, that's the guy to fight.
Yeah, and that's what I need. I've had 3 straight streams in a row where I just play the same 3 characters. I can't find anyone else in Master. They're all the same. It's like, what the hell? Why is everyone playing exactly the same shit? It's so boring. You know, you want to have variety, and you can't get in
player. Okay.
Second room, because I'm starting to run out of time. I got to get out of here soon.
Okay.
So.
Phil, how could you? Did you call my friend a pattern player? How fucking dare you?
I said it's the corner mix-up pattern. That's what it is.
His voice gets higher here. He doesn't deny it. He says, I called it the quarter and pattern mix-up. Like, that's the excuse he's going to go with here. I mean, let's see what happens.
It's not the flowchart. It's the corner mix-up pattern. And I have to guess. It's like gambling, you know?
Wait. Who called who the pattern? Who called who the pattern player?
What?
Who called who a pattern player?
I didn't call anyone a pattern player.
I mean, never mind man to man. He gets confronted over something online and he can't even own up to it and defend himself. He can't double down or anything. He tucks those balls up, and man, does he eat those words fast. You know, for a guy who loves to talk tough to his audience and loves to talk shit, loves drama, because more recently he did all these drama things. He's got no backbone here. So we've all seen this one. This has been this is a classic clip. Cat comes on and does the Dondoko stream with DSP, gets tired and wants to get off. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm sure everybody watching this video has seen this at this point, but we'll play a small portion of it. Shout out to Snort Hogan on this one.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about it. I'll just see how much I can do in like the next 10 minutes. Baby, if you're tired, you can you don't have to stick around. If you're really sore and tired, you can go.
Yeah, I need to stand up.
All right, go ahead. Baby, no one's forcing you to be here.
I mean, you already know what you're doing. So.
Yeah, you can take off for the night. Just say goodbye to everyone.
First of all, when you clearly see that your wife is bent over and she's struggling to be there, I mean, whether she worked a full day or whatever, to say something as brash as no one's forcing you to be here, when you could have said that in a 10 times nicer way to let her get off the stream and put all the blame on her for wanting to leave instead of just being like, all right, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break and then come back and, you know, address your audience then. Because obviously, deep down, Phil wanted her to make it through this whole stream, so it didn't look awkward. But I think he realized that Kat wasn't even in the picture anymore. She was hunched down to her knees, you know? It wasn't a good look for him to not say something. But the way that he said it was just rude and kind of blames his wife for not wanting to be there. Because Phil couldn't come up with a better excuse to get her off the stream and be a little nicer to her than he was here. Even that high-pitched voice where he's like, baby, no one's forcing you to be here. Listen, I feel bad. Listen, there's a lot of people who dump on Kat in the troll communities and stuff like that. I see it a lot. I genuinely feel bad for Kat. I don't think that Kat deserves the level of harassment, but I felt maybe she was pressured to come on these streams. Maybe there's pressure from DSP to want to, you know, get different content to make more money. I remember when he pulled her back in after a couple years when she first came on stream, I'm pretty sure that stream did pretty well. A lot of people tipped and donated. So Phil wanted to continue her in his content because he was making good money when she came back and appeared on his stream compared to how he was doing. It was something different, but it wasn't a good look here. So, you know, then Kat gets off stream, DSP comes back and berates his audience and yells at people and just starts dumping on his stream. Full-blown meltdown. I'm not going to play the whole clip. Like I said, I kind of wanted just to have this lead into the next clip that I want to show, which is more recent. This was from Smart Guys like 2 weeks ago. This is where DSP asks the awkward question.
I'm for this. Phil, what do we have?
PPP, I got to call you out on something, all right? People have been giving me shit for months on this one. It's time for a little bit of grill action
We're gonna grill
tonight.
PPP?
I'm going to grill you tonight a little bit.
You
all
go-
right?
People have been calling you out. Could it be Kat calling you out? Wanting to ask him why? Like, who are these people that are calling you out about it? Genuine fans? And why do you approach this subject so jokingly, as if it's not a big deal to you, but you just want to kind of get it out of the way so you can address it for your stream audience?
You ready? I'm serious. This is going to be a hot seat question, but don't worry. I'm not a jerk about it, okay?
Oh my God, it's over for me.
People have been saying this for months, so I'm just going to bring it up, and I want to hear what you have to say about it, all right?
All right.
Is it true that publicly on your show, at some point, I don't know when, you publicly insulted my wife and how she looks? Is this true?
It's true. It's true.
Okay. And when was this, and what context was this? Because
Well-
You're a grown man. Somebody's insulting your wife, and you're choosing the dollar over your wife, right? Because he's still choosing to do content with PPP. This guy publicly berated Phil's wife on stream, and Phil just wants him to address it to get it out of the way so it's not a topic the trolls or whoever brought it up can bring it up anymore. I don't know how Triple P is, but you got this like 20-something-year-old kid that you're doing a show with that's berating your wife, and you have no backbone, or anything to call him out after he publicly says that he made fun of your wife's looks. And you're going to sit there with a follow-up question saying, what context was this? And when was it? Because was this before we were hanging out? Because we're cool now. It doesn't matter when it was said. It's spineless to sit there and come up with excuses to make it be okay that he did it, saying, oh, it was before we met, before we were cool, right? What was the context? As if the context mattered, right? Because your wife's pride and happiness is not as important as the context of it.
I'm not
Okay,
aware, and I want to hear what
listen,
actually
so
happened.
Here's what happened, Phil. So we cover all sorts of lolcows, all sorts of jokers on our show. You are considered one of the greatest lolcows of all time. You are considered a lolcow just like one step.
He's publicly also getting called a lolcow by this kid. And you're like double his age. I don't know. You're like double this dude's age. And he's calling you one of the greatest lolcows of all time. And all you're going to do is sit there and acknowledge it. I mean, we all know Phil knows he's a lolcow at this point. It's hard to deny, but he's going to let these people dump on him to make a buck. Like, that's classic lolcow behavior in itself, because I'm pretty sure he went on stream the next day and said that he wasn't a lolcow in a different context. I don't think he was referring to this, but try to deny the fact.
Hello, Chris Chan. There's a cult of people who hate you, obsess over your every move, chronicle everything you do. So it's like we tried to throw you into the rotation. The thing was, I always found it really fucking boring. I was like, okay, it's the same shit. He asks for money, and sometimes he loses in Street Fighter, but you're picking the clips where he's fucking doing bad, but sometimes he does good, whatever the fuck. So we covered the clip where you introduce Kat, reintroduce Kat, and she had gained a bunch of weight. And so we're like, whoa, buddy, his wife's fucking fat. She's this, she's that. But
I don't mean to stop it, but you know what's crazy to me? I'm pretty sure this was the night show. To think that this dude is blaring through DSP's TV speakers where Kat can clearly hear it in the other room, because DSP has said that she can hear this stuff in the other room. There's got to be serious problems in your marriage if you're just going to think this is okay. And I think he knows. At one point he looked over towards the door to be like, shit, I hope the door is closed. Or even if Kat's standing in the doorway, who knows? But man, you're sitting here watching this. You almost want to defend Kat from DSP, because you're sitting here watching this being like, he's really just going to let this happen and not stick up for his wife like he should.
you got to understand, we do that to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that we cover on the show, we shit on ruthlessly. We dog on them. We say this, we say that. My personal opinion would have been, and my personal advice would be, and I think you agree with this, is to keep your personal life as private as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem when you introduce your wife, you should be able to show your wife on stream. It should be able, to show that dynamic. But every single person who's ever showed their wife or girlfriend online in drama communities, lolcow communities, it never goes well. Like even like Spoonie back in the day when he introduced Scarlett, it was a scandal. People lost their shit. They called her fat. They called her ugly, all sorts of shit. So it's a long-running tradition that wives and girlfriends in these online spaces get dumped on, get shit on. Is it necessarily right? No, not really. It's kind of nasty and cruel and vindictive, but you open yourself up to it when you bring your family members on stream. And so that's the situation, and that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and this was before we had ever even met, right? Before we had talked or anything, right?
Why does that matter? Like, he doesn't even defend his wife. He's just like, but that was before we started hanging out and we were cool that you were making fun of my wife and calling her fat. Because now that we're cool, you wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't be mean. I don't know. As a man, you just feel like sometimes you should be obligated, and it should just come naturally that you would defend your wife in a situation like this, regardless of it. But when you're addicted to the dollar, when you're addicted to this, you can let things like this slide, right?
Like, I don't think I've been on your show or anything, because you said this was when you were first
Well,
covering
no.
me.
This is, so the thing is, I haven't said anything nasty about your wife since then, because I don't think it's nice. And I know that it actually would bother you, and it would make you upset. And I like you, Phil, and I consider you a pal. And so I don't want to do anything to Phil that would genuinely hurt him and his relationship
Phil is a goddamn bobblehead here. He's just
with his wife
the whole
or
time
negatively hurt the way that he views his wife, because they're married, they live their life together, it's their life. It's really not anybody else's fucking business how Phil chooses to live his life with his wife, or what their eating habits are, or whatever the fuck. But unfortunately, when you do bring them on camera, it opens it up to criticism and mockery and stuff like that. So that's my position on it. And that's basically the way it is. I feel a little bit bad about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your honesty. This is the first time I've heard any of this because all I hear is stuff secondhand, third hand. You don't know what to believe, right? And so people have been grilling me for weeks saying, you know, every week there's a Grill Phil segment. You know, what about that? That's one thing that happened, you know, bring it up. So now,
So Phil is going to bring up this topic to grill Ashton, and he ends up getting grilled worse than any of the other segments because he just got demolished here. He didn't even have a backbone to stick up for his wife or deny it, or he had nothing to say. I mean, what are you going to say other than, I think my wife's beautiful, I disagree, fuck the trolls, it's nobody else's concern. Like, whatever the excuse is, none of that happened. So all this turned into was another Grill Phil session where he just got roasted even harder than usual.
let's ask the public, okay? We have hundreds of people here watching here tonight. Should I accept this? Should I say this is a good answer? Or should I be upset?
I don't know, man. It's honestly, it's up to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say, man. You know, you talk. The thing is, you talk so much shit as a drama YouTuber or whatever. A lot of the time, you never expect the person to actually hear what you said.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
you know what? Someone actually just made a good point. They said nowhere in what you just said did you actually apologize. You actually just kind of explained.
Well,
but you
I
didn't say-
just justified.
This guy has an apology fetish. He tried to do the same thing with Stutter and Craig in the interview. He tried to get him to apologize. And Stutter and Craig hit him with the, I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt, but I don't think Stutter and Craig actually apologized to him. He's got some apology fetish where if people publicly apologize to him, he can use that as ammo in the future if somebody brings it up again. Well, he apologized, so, you know, what's done is done. Well, he apologized, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, what's said was said, and you're still choosing to do content with this guy who clowned on your life. He's clowned on your wife. He's really just exposing your lifestyle, your personal issues, mishaps in your life, not having a backbone to a larger audience than you already had. So things were good for DSP for a while when he was getting more money doing work with Kino Casino, but at what cost? Because ultimately, he's really just exposing your lies to a larger audience. I don't think this little Grill Ashton segment was beneficial for Phil in any way at all, and it didn't go the way that I think Phil thought it was going to go. Because he thought PPP was a bigger friend to him than it appears here. To me, it just appears they're doing a show together. They don't really have chemistry at all, right?
My behavior. You know what I mean? I justified my behavior.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that you know me as a person, are you sorry that you kind of said that stuff? Or are you standing on your laurels that, no, it's okay to do that because he put his wife on the internet? What's your take on that?
Well, I stand by my statements, but at the same time, I do feel bad about them. So I do think that it is what you put online is fair game for criticism and mockery. That being said, is it a nasty thing that I said? Absolutely. And I'm sorry, Phil. If that hurt your feelings or your wife's feelings, I feel bad about that. I apologize, Phil, because...
So he did the same thing as Stutter and Craig, but this guy gets a pass because Phil's making money with this guy. Stutter and Craig was just an interview. If Stutter and Craig and Phil had a show together, I bet Stutter and Craig's apology would have went way different. Or lack of apology, whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's kind of pathetic that he just accepts it and continues to do a show with this guy. I can't imagine his wife's feelings aren't hurt, and I'm sure it still bothers her. I feel for Kat on this one. As much as I dislike how Phil handles every situation in front of him and how he treats people and how he operates his online business, I think that he's really in it for the dollar and truly doesn't care about his wife's feelings, as it kind of shows here. But that's my opinion, and let's move on.
Can I please go in the waiting room?
Sure, where is the waiting room?
Right behind you, idiot. You click on that.
You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Wow. You're quite rude.
Wow. I'm 11. Deal with it.
You're 11?
Yes?
And your parents bought you a gaming PC? What's wrong with this picture?
Probably because I'm part wolf. You click on it, just so you know.
You click on it. Ah. Good. Now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they
This is classic DSP though. He waits until he's already in a different room where this kid's not going to hear him and then just rags on the person. He doesn't have to be confronted about what he's saying to this kid anymore. Because honestly, the 11-year-old, if he said that in front of him, the kid probably would have destroyed him. But
Talk to me like that. I would have fucking pimp slapped that shit out of that. What the fuck? Anyway.
You suck at throwing.
so this next one was from yesterday. Phil directly calls out one of his bigger supporters to help him hit the goal, which is pathetic. He's banned people over saying Iron Chef Sakai help us hit the goal and calling out Iron Chef Sakai to support in chat. And they said stuff like, why are people calling him out? Why don't you support type deal? And here he is so desperate to hit the tips goal that he calls this guy out to help him hit it. Let's watch it.
For 2 gifted kick subs. Hold on a second here. You are absolutely correct. There was no Kino Country. And then, oh, Dank Steve Pimp. I didn't see it. Dank Steve Pimp just gifted a sub. I missed it. Okay. So we are up to 16 now. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dank Steve Pimp. Now, listen, Dank Steve Pimp, if you could help me out tonight and hit that goal, I would appreciate it because we didn't hit it earlier today.
So it's like he knows this guy has money to throw at him, and he's going to call him out to help him hit the goal. Because it's like, gee, I wonder if Phil only has a couple big supporters when he's calling people out by name to help him hit the goal. This guy's just going to throw money at you to help you hit it. Let's call him out on stream and see if it comes in. You know, if this tactic worked and Danksteed Pimp got him to the goal, he would feel a lot more comfortable regularly asking specific people to contribute. The thing that he's denied for a long time, but seems to always bring it up. I can even remember on the marathon stream the other night, he said something along the lines of, oh, well, did you notice that we didn't have the Iron Chef Sakais and the NDOs coming to contribute? It was like a good variety of people. Why would you bring that up if people typically organically contribute to your stream? It really makes you wonder about all these anonymous tips that come in. You would think somebody tipping $200 anonymously or whatever, the $50, $100, whatever it is, would want the shout out. Like, why would you give somebody $200 and just say you're anonymous and not want any recognition from it? Because of Phil's troll community? I mean, if that's the reason, then you got to wonder why he's got such a large community of trolls surrounding him who will get on your case for supporting a guy like this. Like, use your common sense and think about why people would try to call you out, find your Twitter and do all this. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not justifying it, because you're supporting a guy who acts like this and whose troll community is the direct cause of his own actions, right? People don't just show up and troll someone for no reason. It's typically because there's something that they did to spark people being upset with you and frustrated and wanting to, you know, restream you and wanting to stop you from acting the way that you're acting. But, you know, couldn't be me.
It's rare that I directly address a particular viewer and ask for a favor. Let me actually get the camera on right now. It's rare that I would address... Oh, I had the wrong thing. Hold on, I wanted this. On right now.
For some reason, I just picture an alien going like this, right? It's just so weird the way that he does this stuff with his camera. I'm sure there's a better way to do it in the software. I don't know. But I wouldn't want to sit there and be like, to get my camera to focus on me. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like there's something that a lot of people do where you just kind of focus it back. That looks more natural than going. I don't know. I think it's strange.
It's rare that I would address... Oh, I had the wrong thing. Hold on, I wanted this.
All right. On to the next one. This was like a 20-minute segment about his neck and back pain.
As you guys know, it was about 1 week ago when I told you guys, man, I was sleeping and I guess I must have wrenched my neck in my sleep and did something to really hurt it. One day, I'm in the doorway of my bathroom back when I lived in the condo in Connecticut, and I just twist my head the wrong way, and I get incredibly bad shooting pain going all the way down my neck, through my shoulder, all the way down the back of my arm, into the forearm, into my thumb, and I lost feeling in my thumb, and I literally could not feel my thumb for 2 months. It was that bad.
Listen, I'm not going to deny somebody the right to feel the way they feel or knock on anybody's medical condition. Kind of what he's describing with the numbness and stuff reminds me of like pre-diabetes. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I think that's how that stuff kind of starts, is the numbness. And
2 months of numbness, pain, and nerve problem. A chronic condition with my spine that's getting worse as I get older. There's nothing I can really do about it. It's hereditary. My dad also has it, and he's much older than me.
You know, I find this strange. Listen, you don't have to disclose medical conditions or whatever to anybody. I'm not saying that. But constantly he's like, I've got this chronic condition. And it's like, what's the condition called? You know, he keeps referring to this condition. I think you could humanize yourself a little bit more because DSP is known as such a liar and how he lies about everything. I think being upfront about this, especially given your past and how upfront you are with seemingly everything else that goes on in your life. Like, why wouldn't you just be like, listen, I've got, you know, whatever the condition is. I've got MS, mesothelioma, you know, like just constantly saying, I've got this chronic condition, blah, blah, blah. Then doing something like this in the same exact day.
I'm burning hell, Burnell, exactly. I was burning in hell right there.
This right here, keep in mind, is from the same day. So he's complaining about this chronic neck condition and how he's in pain. Doesn't know if he can play Call of Duty tonight because he can't sit there with mouse and keyboard. His neck hurts. He'll do this though.
Oh. Phil, and Phil. And we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance tonight. We're gonna do that. I'm doing a back-to-back dancing with Phil.
So you'll sit there and say that you're in a lot of pain, but you'll move every muscle in your upper body and move your head back and forth in your neck and it doesn't bother you and you have a good time. Like, this is the stuff why people don't believe you. He pretends to be in so much pain and then does stuff like this because it makes you wonder if it's a lie and he just forgot that he lied about it and slipped up. And then 20 minutes later, he'll be like, oh, my neck's really hurting me or something. You know, it's strange. I don't want to harp on this one too much because I'm not a doctor. I don't know. He might really have something going on. It's just a weird way to go about it. You talk how you can't move your neck or bend your head a certain way, and here you are dancing and snapping your fingers. And then keep in mind, he'll immediately ask for contributions for doing this.
All right. Very nice. Can we get some support for the silliness tonight? Can we get some support tonight for this ridiculousness, please?
Do a 5-second dance and ask for money. Isn't that what monkeys do? I don't know. Anyway, y'all, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to watch a few clips with y'all. This isn't really any serious commentary. If you stuck to the end, I appreciate you. Drop a like, subscribe, comment. Like I said, I love reading them all. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.